Respect, it's not given freely. It's not bought with wealth or earned through mere titles. It's the invisible currency of human interaction, forged in the crucible of your actions and presence. People who command respect seem to carry an aura, a force that silences chaos and invites admiration. But here's the secret: this is not magic. It's a philosophy, a discipline of life that anyone can adopt. It begins with mastering one person, yourself. Today, we're diving into the timeless principles of self-mastery, fortitude, and overcoming destructive emotions to command respect wherever you go. These aren't tricks or fleeting techniques. They are transformations rooted in an ancient philosophy that has stood unshaken for millennia. Let's explore the essence of respect and how to make it yours. Number 1. The power of self-control. If you wish to command respect, the first and most vital pillar is self-control. Respect is not something that can be demanded or manipulated. It's something you must earn, and it begins with mastering the one person who matters most, you. Most people live at the mercy of their emotions, quick to react to slights, quick to be agitated, and quick to let their feelings dictate their actions. However, to wield respect, you must learn how to control the one thing you truly possess control over: yourself. The Stoics, the ancient philosophers of wisdom, knew this better than anyone. Figures like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus understood that true power lies not in the ability to dominate others, but in the ability to dominate oneself. They taught that emotions such as anger, frustration, fear, and envy are not permanent fixtures of your identity, but temporary disturbances of the mind. These emotions, while natural, are not the voice of reason. They are merely impulses that, if left unchecked, can lead to self-destruction and ultimately the loss of respect from others. Take, for instance, the Stoic perspective on anger. When anger rises, as it inevitably does, it is easy to react impulsively, to lash out in an attempt to defend our ego. But Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, writes, "When you are distressed by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your own judgment about it." What this means is that anger is not caused by the world around you. It is caused by your perception of the world. The Stoic approach isn't to suppress anger or deny its existence, but to challenge the judgment that gives it power over you. If you can shift your perception and refuse to let the emotion control you, you will retain your inner peace, and others will see this calm strength. True self-control is not just about managing big emotions like anger or jealousy. It is about the daily practice of restraint. It is the ability to resist the temptation to act on impulse, to choose your responses wisely, and to maintain your composure, no matter the circumstances. In this way, you become a master of your own emotions, and in turn, others begin to respect your ability to maintain clarity and poise under pressure. Self-control also extends to your thoughts. Many people spend their days overwhelmed by negative, destructive thoughts, either about their own shortcomings or about the people around them. But the Stoics teach that your thoughts are yours to control. You do not have to let them run wild. Instead, you can challenge and reshape them, refusing to allow them to spiral into worry or doubt. In doing so, you free yourself from the mental chaos that often robs people of their dignity. Imagine a situation where someone insults you, perhaps in a meeting, perhaps in a social setting. The natural reaction is to feel hurt, to feel defensive, or even to strike back with a biting remark of your own. But the Stoic response is different. The Stoic pauses. They recognize the insult, but they do not allow it to dictate their behavior. They ask themselves, what is in my control? The insult is not in their control, but their response is. By choosing to remain calm, they maintain their dignity, they retain their composure, and most importantly, they command respect. Marcus Aurelius famously said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This simple yet profound statement captures the essence of self-control. It is not enough to merely think of yourself as a person of virtue. You must embody that virtue in every action. And the first step in doing so is mastering your own internal world. By cultivating self-control, you lay the foundation for others to recognize your strength, your steadiness, and your resilience. In a world where most people are governed by their emotions, those who rise above them are the ones who are truly respected. To live in accordance with self-control is to live in alignment with your highest values. It requires effort, practice, and consistency, but the rewards are immeasurable. When you master your own reactions, you gain something far more powerful than external respect. You gain the respect of your own mind and soul. And from that internal respect, all external respect will naturally flow. Number 2, the strength of fortitude. Fortitude is the quiet, unshakable power that allows you to stand tall in the face of hardship, challenge, and pain. It is the inner strength that refuses to crumble when life delivers its blows. This is not the kind of strength that is easily seen in the world around you. It's not the strength of the body or the strength of external achievements. It is the strength of the spirit, the strength that comes from an unbreakable mindset, and it is precisely what commands respect. In a world that idolizes instant gratification, it can be easy to forget the value of enduring hardship. Our culture often rewards those who can rise quickly, achieve success in a flash, or take shortcuts to comfort. However, Stoicism teaches us the opposite. The true path to strength lies in enduring suffering and overcoming adversity with grace. Fortitude is not about avoiding difficulties. It is about embracing them with an unwavering commitment to your values, regardless of the external circumstances. The Stoic philosopher Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." We are often told that happiness comes from escaping hardship, from evading suffering, but this is a lie. The Stoics understood that suffering is a natural part of life, and it is not something to be feared or avoided, but something to be embraced. In the face of hardship, our response reveals our true character. It is during these moments that fortitude is tested, and it is during these moments that we can either command respect or lose it. When you cultivate fortitude, you become a person who refuses to give up when times are tough. You stand tall when others falter. You maintain your resolve when everyone else around you has succumbed to despair. This inner strength will not go unnoticed. It draws people to you because there is a quiet power in those who endure. It is not about being loud or forceful. It is about standing firm, no matter the storm that rages around you. Imagine for a moment that you are facing a severe personal challenge. Perhaps it is a loss, a setback, or an injury. The natural impulse for most people is to retreat, to seek comfort, to allow their circumstances to define them. But the Stoic with fortitude remains unbroken. They accept the reality of their situation, not as a reflection of their failure, but as an opportunity to demonstrate resilience. They understand that pain and hardship are not permanent, but their strength of character is. This ability to endure with grace commands a deep respect in others. It shows that you are not easily swayed by external circumstances, that your integrity and principles are not for sale. When others see that you can maintain your composure and strength in the face of hardship, they are forced to acknowledge your character. The Greek Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." In other words, the less dependent we are on external comforts and distractions, the greater our fortitude becomes. A person who is constantly seeking external validation or who crumbles in the face of adversity has no true fortitude. But a person who faces life head-on, who withstands its trials with patience and dignity, commands a level of respect that cannot be bought. Fortitude, then, is not a passive trait. It requires constant practice and vigilance. It is not about waiting for difficulty to arise, but about preparing yourself for whatever life may throw your way. By embracing hardship and cultivating the strength to endure it, you build an unbreakable core that others will naturally respect. As we move forward, remember that fortitude is the bedrock of respect. When you face difficulties with unyielding strength and unwavering resolve, you become a person who stands above the crowd, unbroken, unshaken, and worthy of the deepest admiration. Number 3, the art of emotional mastery. In a world dominated by emotion, few people understand the true power of emotional mastery. It is easy to be swept away by feelings of anger, jealousy, sadness, or frustration. These emotions, though natural, have the potential to control us, to distort our reality, and to lead us astray from our true path. But the Stoics recognized this vulnerability and built a philosophy that empowers us to transcend these emotions, not by repressing them, but by mastering them. To command respect, one must not be a slave to emotions. Instead, one must recognize that emotions are transient, and more importantly, that they are shaped by our own judgments. In other words, our emotional responses are not dictated by the events that happen to us, but by how we perceive and interpret those events. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." It is not the emotion itself that creates turmoil, but the meaning we assign to it. Take anger as an example. When someone wrongs us, the initial instinct might be to feel anger. The Stoic, however, acknowledges the anger without letting it dictate their actions. They understand that anger is not inherently bad, but it is a destructive force when allowed to take control. They practice restraint, not out of weakness, but out of wisdom. To react to every slight with anger is to give away your power. But when you acknowledge your emotions, choose not to act on them impulsively, and instead reflect on the best course of action, you retain control and in turn command respect. Emotional mastery goes beyond anger. It encompasses all emotions: fear, anxiety, envy, and pride. Fear, for instance, often holds people back from acting boldly or making decisions that align with their values. Yet the Stoics saw fear as nothing more than a misalignment between what we can control and what we cannot. Seneca once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." The anxiety we experience is often a result of our own projections into the future, imagining outcomes that have not yet come to pass. The Stoic understands that the present moment is all they have, and they choose to act based on what is within their control, rather than being paralyzed by what is uncertain. The key to emotional mastery is not avoiding emotions, but understanding and channeling them in a constructive way. This begins with the practice of self-awareness. When an emotion arises, the Stoic does not react impulsively. They pause, they breathe, they ask themselves, what is the source of this emotion? Is it based on reality, or is it a distorted perception? In this pause lies the power to transform a destructive emotion into a tool for growth. Respect is not commanded by the person who reacts with impulsive emotion, but by the person who acts with deliberate intention, who remains composed in the face of provocation, and who chooses their responses with wisdom. This level of emotional mastery doesn't come easily, but it is cultivated through practice, reflection, and discipline. The Stoic principle of apatheia, freedom from destructive passions, teaches us that true power lies not in emotional repression, but in emotional control. To command respect, one must become an observer of their emotions, not a victim of them. This requires a willingness to confront uncomfortable feelings and to transform them through the lens of rational thought and self-reflection. When you begin to master your emotions, something powerful happens. Not only do you regain control of your life, but you begin to project an aura of stability and wisdom. Those around you notice your calmness in turbulent situations, your ability to navigate conflict without being consumed by it. This unshakable composure becomes a magnet for respect because people naturally gravitate toward those who seem to have a deep well of inner strength. Number 4, the integrity of living by principles. Integrity is the silent strength that holds the world together. It is not the outward display of authority or knowledge that earns respect, but the inner strength to live consistently by principles. Principles that are rooted in truth, honor, and virtue. In a world where people often compromise their values for short-term gain, those who live with integrity shine as pillars of moral strength. This is what the Stoics understood so deeply. The true measure of a person is not their wealth, appearance, or power, but their commitment to living a virtuous life, no matter the circumstances. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, urged himself to act according to the highest ideals. Waste no time on what you can't control. Focus only on what you can. In this short but powerful statement, Marcus embodies the essence of Stoic integrity. He understood that life would present challenges, distractions, and temptations, but the only thing that truly mattered was his ability to stay true to his core principles. Integrity, for the Stoic, means adhering to these values regardless of the chaos around you or the temptation to abandon them for expedience. To command respect, you must live in accordance with your beliefs. This doesn't mean merely speaking of your principles. It means embodying them in every action, no matter how small. A person who speaks of honesty but lies to get ahead, or claims to value hard work but avoids effort in favor of shortcuts cannot be respected. Their words may be convincing, but their actions betray them. True integrity is proven in the moments when no one is watching, when there are no accolades or rewards for doing what is right. The Stoics held that virtue was the only true good, and that living a life in accordance with virtue was the key to lasting happiness and respect. Virtue, according to them, was not a lofty ideal, but a daily practice. It's in the small choices you make each day, whether to be honest, to help others, to resist temptation, to stand firm in the face of difficulty, that your integrity is revealed. Living by your principles means choosing what is right, not what is easy, and this is the ultimate test of your character. Living by principles also means understanding the difference between what is in your control and what is not. You cannot control how others behave, but you can control your own actions and reactions. A person of integrity does not allow the behaviors of others to sway their own values. They act according to what they believe is right, regardless of external pressures or the temptation to conform to the norms of the crowd. This unwavering commitment to your principles creates a powerful force of respect. When others see that you are not swayed by circumstance, that your integrity remains intact regardless of the external pressures or rewards, they are forced to acknowledge your strength. It is a quiet strength, the kind that cannot be mimicked or faked. Over time, it builds an aura of trustworthiness and honor that others gravitate toward. When you live by your principles, you gain something far more valuable than fleeting respect. You gain the respect of your own conscience. And from this respect, others will naturally begin to recognize your strength, your wisdom, and your character. Number 5, the power of presence and silence. The final, and perhaps most underestimated tool in commanding respect is the power of presence and silence. In a world that is loud, chaotic, and filled with constant distractions, the person who is able to be present, truly present, commands a quiet form of authority that is impossible to ignore. This isn't about being the loudest in the room, the most outgoing, or the one who seeks attention. No, this is about a depth of being that demands respect without saying a word. The Stoics, with their profound understanding of the mind and spirit, valued the power of quiet reflection and calm presence. They knew that the person who speaks less but acts more with wisdom, restraint, and purpose is the one who truly commands attention. As Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." In this simple statement lies the power of silence. The person who listens carefully, who observes deeply, and who speaks only when necessary, speaks with more weight, more authority, and more respect than someone constantly filling the air with words. The power of silence and presence comes from the ability to focus your energy inward, to be fully immersed in the moment, and to act with deliberate intent. When you can be fully present, free from distractions, you become a figure of strength. People are naturally drawn to such a presence because it is rare. In a world of constant noise, the person who stands still and observes with clear, calm eyes radiates a quiet but undeniable strength. To command respect, you do not need to dominate the conversation or try to prove yourself at every turn. Often, the person who is secure enough in themselves to remain silent in a room filled with chatter is the one who carries the most weight. Their presence speaks louder than any words could. The Stoics understood that a wise person knows when to speak and when to remain silent. Silence is not the absence of communication. It is a powerful form of communication that can leave a far greater impact than empty words. Think of a person who walks into a room with an unspoken authority. They don't demand attention, but everyone around them feels it. They don't boast of their accomplishments, but their integrity and presence shine through. Their silence is not one of insecurity, but one of inner peace and strength. In this silence, they allow their actions and their character to do the talking. They become the embodiment of the Stoic ideal, living in accordance with virtue, controlling their emotions, and acting with purpose. The power of presence is built on self-awareness and self-control. When you master the art of being present, of focusing entirely on the moment and not on the distractions around you, you cultivate an aura of calm strength. People are drawn to this stillness, and they begin to respect you for the clarity and power you project. Silence is also a form of strength in communication. Think about how few words are needed to make a statement when you carry the weight of integrity behind them. The Stoic response to most situations is often measured, concise, and purposeful. There is no need for excessive chatter or unneeded explanation when your actions, your calmness, and your unwavering presence are enough. This quiet confidence is a powerful tool in commanding respect. When you embrace the power of silence and presence, you allow yourself to radiate authority without uttering a single word. You show the world that respect is not something to be shouted for or demanded. It is something that naturally emanates from within when you live in alignment with your highest values. Conclusion: the quiet path to unshakable respect. The journey to commanding respect is not one of external force or loud declarations. It is the quiet path of self-mastery, emotional control, fortitude, integrity, and presence. To be respected, you must first respect yourself by adhering to the Stoic principles of self-control, emotional mastery, and living with unyielding integrity. The Stoic way is not about impressing others with external displays of power, but about cultivating an inner strength so profound that it demands respect without any effort. As you embark on this journey, remember that respect is not something to be chased, but something that follows naturally from your actions and your commitment to the higher ideals of wisdom, courage, and virtue. It is earned not through force or manipulation, but through the quiet confidence of a person who lives with purpose, controls their emotions, and stands firm in the face of life's trials. The world may be loud, the world may be chaotic, but in the midst of all of this, those who have mastered themselves, those who live by their principles, who act with fortitude, who project calm strength, will always be the ones who stand tallest. They will be the ones who inspire respect, not by demanding it, but by embodying it. What are your views on this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I will personally read all of your comments. And if you seriously want to level up in life, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe button. Stay strong. Until next time.